Good morning, everyone. I wanted to do a special video up. Today is my grandfather's birthday, and I had found this thing, I think it was probably like last month or so, on Pinterest, because I am a new Pinterest user, but I'm not very good with stuff like this. I'm into so many sites now, and it's not really something like that, but I'm just into so much stuff that I can't keep up with this, so I really don't keep up with my profile. But I happened to run across this one thing when I was on there, and I thought, oh, I really love this. It's a great gift idea, and so I wanted to share it, but I wanted to show you what not to do, because I made this mistake. I had this all made up yesterday, and for what I used for a flower arrangement, I put a rubber band around it, figuring that way it would hold it all together. And then I decided last night that I didn't really like that, so I figured I would take it off, so I just went ahead and took it off. But there's a warning on this, and I'll explain that as I go. So I wanted to show you, first of all, as you can see, I'm using STATIS. I love my STATIS. It's one of those everlasting flowers, you know, it dries up, it's gorgeous. So I'm using that. You don't technically have to use the flower. You don't even have to. You can like use any flower you want if you want to, but you really don't have to. But I choose to and everything, and I love it. This is the picture. This is a picture of my grandfather when he was probably. They really don't have. There was no writing on the back, so he was probably like in his mid-teens, mid to late teens, and that's my great grandmother with him, and it's just a beautiful picture. They had done in a photo booth somewhere, and as you can see the issue here. It looks like the fingerprints on there, and it didn't look like that in the jar once I had it done, but as soon as I took the lid off and broke the seal and the air got in there, that, you know, it messed the picture up. So thankfully I had other copies made. You can use original pictures, but I don't recommend it. I would recommend, you know, getting copies made, just because, especially with something like old like this, you just want to make sure that you have other copies, and that, and two, it was a smaller picture, obviously, so I wanted something a little bit bigger. So I've already got my picture in here. What you're going to want is a mason jar. They come in different sizes and everything. I've seen ones on the Pinterest site, you know, that were just like smaller jars and that, so you don't have to use your standard size mason jar. But what you're going to do is you're going to cut your picture down to size so that it fits in there, and as you can see, you know, this fits in there really well. I already had it in there. I had to take in, I had the fun project this morning of taking all of my vegetable oil and dumping it back out and everything and rinsing the jar out really good in that, and then I had to size down my next picture, so, you know, kind of a mess. Vegetable oil, it's terrible, you know, it's slick and everything, and it's just real slippery. It's a terrible mess and everything. But what you're going to do, and I'm going to see if I can do this without making too much of a mess, because this is my first hands-on video and everything. I don't know if anybody realizes that or not. I usually just sit there and talk in front of, like, when I have my computer where I could use it, or my phone here now. But this is my first ever hands-on video. So what you're going to do is you're going to pour your vegetable oil in. And see, I'm dripping. I'll clean that up when I'm done. You're going to pour that in, and what you want to do is you want to put enough vegetable oil in to cover your picture. So that's what we're doing here, and depending on how much I lose, I might have to add some more. Yeah, that was the better measuring cup to use right there, because it's not so bad. And you're going to fill that right up to the tippy top, and I'm not going to have enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the phone down real quick, and I'm going to get my bottle of vegetable oil out. Finish filling that up, and you can just listen to me talk and everything for this, because I'm not going to have the thing on here. Okay, now we're up to the top of the picture. Has to be up, you know, up above the picture. And what this does is it suspends the picture in the jar, which is really neat. And you can see, you know, how that looks. It's really, really awesome. It suspends it in there. And then what you do is you take, if you choose to add, you know, your flowers in there, and you drop them in behind your picture. Get them down in there. And See, with that, suspending that like that, obviously, you know, with the weight in that, they're not gonna go down to the bottom, they're gonna stay towards the top, and they're gonna be a pain in the butt. Nothing is gonna go right this morning, I can see it. Okay, get them done. That's why I like to get my stuff done ahead of time, of course, and I'm usually running behind, so most generally this is my deal when it comes to stuff like this. So, alright, now I'm gonna take, and I'm gonna try to show you if I can get a good angle here. You can see the flowers in there. I'm not sure who came up with this idea, I just know that it was posted on the site. And I have to tell you, this really is a brilliant idea because it's very unique. This isn't something that you're going to see around from my family. It's kind of like it's just one of those things, like I said, you just don't see it around. It's very neat and everything. I've never seen anything like this in a store or anything, so it's very like a personal gift, you know. It's something that you can really cherish. Now I'm going to take, like I said, obviously I've got the thing down here you can't see, but I'm going to take and clean this up a bit because, like I said, it's a slippery mess, and I can get another jar, but I really don't want to, so I've got to value the one I have, so I don't dare drop it. I would cry. While I'm doing this, I wanted to just say hello to everybody and ask how you guys are doing. I don't usually get any responses, but if anybody would like to respond, just let me know, you know, how you're doing and how your day's going. Everybody's probably gearing up for Memorial Day, which is, you know, awesome, and looking forward to that. Time off work, time with the family and everything, so that's really special. Let me hurry up here. I'm trying to get this done. I always do raw videos, as you know. I don't edit, don't cut anything out, so everything basically happens in the moment. And when you're doing things in the moment and stuff comes up, you kind of have to go with the flow, and that's basically what we're doing here. We're just basically going with the flow and trying to move it along so that you're not waiting much longer here. I'll clean the rest of that up later, but just get the worst of it here, enough that I can get this back on. Now, what you're going to do with this is you got to seal it up real tight. I set you back down again. You got to seal your lid real tight because you don't want any air getting in there. You know, from my example, from what I showed you, and that's when it's okay to make mistakes. Even though you're not happy you made one, it's good to make mistakes just to show, so that people can see, you know, what can happen. And so here's the finished product. And as you can see, you know, and then you turn around and there's the flower arrangement. And yeah, it's just really neat. It's really simple. Anybody can do it, you know. You just get a mason jar, an old photo, really anything you want. Dried flowers of any sort, and some vegetable oil, and just like I said, just cut your picture down to size, put it in there, fill the jar up with vegetable oil, you know, up to the tippy top and everything, just so that the vegetable oil is up, you know, above the picture. So like for any size picture, whatever you're doing, just as long as the vegetable oil, you know, is up above the picture, and then you put in your flower arrangement and then seal the lid as tight as you can get it. But just keep in mind, like I said, don't take the lid off, because as soon as you take the lid off and the air gets in there, this unfortunately will happen. And like I said, I really don't recommend using original photos. I would rather you, in my personal experience, I would say get copies made and use a picture like that, because that way you're not losing your original, because you may think, you know, well, it's going to be in there, so, you know, you're still going to have it, but I think it's just nicer, you know, to make copies and that, so, especially for something like this, because you can't get that back, so, but anyway, that's what you do, and it can be a mess, but a lot of the best projects, the best things that you do and everything, if it's not a mess, it may not turn out to be as good as you'd like it to be, because I don't know, I think it just has to be that way. You know, it's just like the best stories, you know, with a lot of scribbles and a lot of pages thrown out to make it so it's perfect. So it's just working to make that perfect, you know, finished product. So, again, you know, one more time, that's That's the finished product. I'm going to get going here. I've got a lot to do today, but I just wanted to share that with everybody, and I love you guys, and God bless all of you, and mwah.